All right, welcome back. This is the beginning of turn 8. This is after the Confederate move. So what we're doing is the 4th and the 5th Texas here are getting ready for the New Jersey regiment. They can hear coming in through the woods. So instead of gaming it and trying to block that area, I'm pretending there's more board over there. So the 4th Texas here backed up. The 5th Texas is really backing up because they're actually pretty beat up. The 3rd Arkansas is coming in here to support the 5th Texas and try to mop up some of those units. And the 1st Texas is doing okay, but they got at least one ineffective unit. I think two. I think the guy under this stack right here might be ineffective. So they're having trouble maneuvering and doing certain things. They're going up there and they're going to try to pick on the 40th New York a little bit more, see if they can do some damage. The only thing coming in for the north I think next turn is the 6th New Jersey, so they'll be facing off against a little bit beat up 4th and a pretty big beat up 5th Texas. Here we got the Georgia Benning's Brigade is coming in. They're double timing it for the extra movement points, which they can only do one turn in a row, or otherwise they suffer some problems. So I'll read on that and see if it's okay to keep pushing them another turn because they're far from the enemy. They're also all in column, so they're trucking. We got Law's Brigade here is still trying to get on the flank, so we're getting a little bit of action over here. I'm going to have to pull the 4th Alabama out of column pretty soon because otherwise they're going to be in trouble when the 20th Maine starts shaking out in the line. And the 15th Alabama is supporting the 48th and the 47th, I believe. Yeah, the 48th and 47th Alabama. They're coming up to test the line of the north. I'm going to try volley fire for the first time. The problem is if you get disordered, you can't volley fire, and I've been doing a lot more melee and charging. And the problem I have now is with the limited command, I can't really do everything I want to do. So it does start to take its toll later in the game. I've seen there's a lot of comments from people on forums and stuff that you can pretty much do what you want. Well, you can in the beginning when everybody's fresh and there's no ineffective units, but once you start getting ineffective, just a reminder, there is the Union casualty pile. The Confederate has no casualty pile, but they have a lot of units that are getting close, and I think when they run into Strong Vincent's Brigade up here, they're going to have some problems. And then we got the 44th here. They're pretty beat up. I think they have 3 ineffective units. They got guys down to 1 or 2 steps. So they are going to just hang out here in the woods and take a breather and see if the rest of their brigade can do anything. If it gets desperate and we got to move them back up there, we will, but they're pretty much shot. So even though the casualty pile for the north is huge, the Confederates, as you can see, all those dudes with the white stripes, those are all ineffective units, which mean they're getting in trouble, and when they take certain attacks, they're probably in trouble. Oops, looks like I bumped the board here. Move the board back. So, yeah, so that's it. So that after this is the end of the Confederate move on turn 8. So I'm going to do defensive fire for the Union, and then I'll do offensive fire for the Confederates. I don't think we have any melee this turn. Nope, no melee this turn. So I'll do those, and then I will come back, show you the results, and then we'll work on the Union movement. All right, welcome back. This is the end of the offensive and defensive fire. Actually, quite a bit of casualties over here. Some Confederate units have went to ineffective, so we're starting to see the toll. Same here with the 1st Texas. They got hit. The guys under that disorder marker are both ineffective. So now we're starting to see where the Texas Brigade, some of that, and some of the Alabama Brigade here is starting to have some trouble. They're starting to flip over to their ineffective side, which is really ineffective. I mean, it's horrible. The morale drops. You can't maneuver very easily. So that continues. The 44th New York got peppered a little bit, and Colonel Rice got wounded. So he's going to be replaced. So here's Colonel Rice. He got wounded, and he's going to be replaced by just a generic lieutenant colonel. They don't even say, so I'm not sure who that is. I got some friends that are knowledgeable on Gettysburg. Maybe they can comment on the YouTube channel and tell us who took over for Colonel Rice if he would have got wounded, which I'm guessing there's a good chance he did. There was some pretty hot firing here, so I'm not sure. Okay, so next we're going to do, oh, and then they continue to push this little remnant. The other thing is this whole little stack right here, this is like a mishmash of all kinds of stuff. It just needs to go away. It's actually going to be in the way. So I think the Union this turn will pull those guys out of the line and put them in a reserve because they're just in the way and they're all ineffective and down to 1 or 2 strength. So, and that way we can let the 16th Michigan move up into its position and get ready to fight. Take some position in those rocks there, the rubble and the smaller rocks, so they can start firing. Okay, so I'll try to remember. I have a funny little story of when I went to Gettysburg. I'll try to remember, so I'll do it at the end of the video. So if you're not interested in listening to it, you can just, go to the next video. But if you're interested, I'll tell you the story. So I'll do it at the end of the turn. So it'll be at the end of the video, because what I do is I do 4 little short videos, and then I combine them together on with DaVinci. So anyway, that's let's give you an overall of the board here. We haven't done that for a while. There's my coffee. Little baked apple caramel macchiato. So yeah, so enjoying that this morning, and that's the overall look of the map. We can see the Georgia Brigade moving up there. We talked about that earlier. You can see the lines. So we're about a little over an hour into the battle here when this next turn is done here, and it's getting interesting. All right, thanks for watching. Okay, so I think I got a little excited. I forgot to do a video after the movement for the Union, I think. But just in case to cover my bases, the only nothing much moved, but there was a significant event. The 40th New York decided to charge the 1st Texas and see if they could do enough damage to buy them a few minutes while some other regiments show up. So I'm just finishing the offensive fire. Defensive fire is done. It wasn't super nasty for the Confederate shooting, and the offensive fire has been okay. We did have, I don't know if this was before or not, because I kind of got interrupted during the turn, but we do have our first Confederate counter on there, and kind of getting ahead of myself, so I probably won't cover it, but Colonel Sheffield of the 48th Alabama got wounded from fire as he was pushing up here onto the base of the Little Round Top. So we did have that. So I'm going to finish the little bit of fire over here. That's all I got left. And then I will go ahead and do an update. But I kind of already did, I guess. But I'll finish the fire and then just update you. Okay, so not really much change. There's a few extra disorders. I probably should have just done the assault. So I think I'll do that. I think I'll just do that. All the firing is done. I have to do the melee, and then I'll show you the end result of that. So there's the overall picture. We've kind of already covered everything with the wounded Confederate officer. A lot of disorders. Another disorder was added. Nothing happened over there. I'm still kind of out on the artillery being a little pathetic. But, okay, so I'll do the melee, and then I'll update you, and that'll be the end of turn 8, which will be just over an hour, 64 minutes into the battle. Okay, there's the end of the result. The Union won all 3 melees in that, driving back. The Confederates suffered at least a retreat. They lost a total of a couple strength points, another 30 casualties, stragglers wounded and killed. The Union, the 40th New York, lost nobody, but they did have 2 units disorder. So we'll see if the 3rd Arkansas can help respond to that. There's parts of the 1st Texas in there. 5th Texas is pretty beat up. So honestly, what I thought earlier in the game is I thought the Texas Brigade was just going to sweep up through here and just annihilate the North, but they're getting pretty damaged. So we'll play it out, see how it goes. We are now moving on to the 9th turn for the Confederates, so I'll move that over here. There's going to be some Union reinforcements, and we will we'll work on the next turn. So thanks for joining me, and I'll start working on turn 9.